Greetings from Dystopia, episode 24. So yesterday we did the raspberry pie. I got a little bit of ding, a couple private comments from just dry material. Well, it is computer stuff. It either excites you or makes it seem very dry, dull, and boring. So, alright, I'll work on that for next time to show a little more enthusiasm. In fact, that was the exact comment from one of them, was that I was more enthusiastic when I'm out here walking and filming and doing all of that, to whereas there the delivery was very dry. Okay, I'll work on it. We are this morning walking another portion of the I&M Canal. This is one of the sections I haven't picked up, so I figured I'd get out here and at least walk part of it. It's long enough where I'm less apt to run into somebody, although I will. There's people out here. There were 2 vehicles in the parking lot for this section, so I'm sure I'll see somebody out here. But yeah, it is a rather, it's not cold. Right now it's 37 degrees, but that breeze is just like ice, hence the reason for the Gore-Tex. The breeze is just cutting right through you. Actually, the lighting is better on this side, ain't it? I was trying to give my arm a break. Well, turn around and go the other way, right? Not much new in this part of the world today, other than weather changes. We're expecting up to 6 inches of snow tonight. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 inches of snow. Wouldn't be spring in the Midwest if Mother Nature didn't show her bipolarness. I know I've made that comment before too, but that is, sadly, that is spring here. This was, I'm trying to remember this. It's been a long time since I've walked this section. Back up in here, on the opposite bank, is an old brick abutment, and it comes across to this side. There's portions of it down in here, and I want to say this was a lock at one point, but I don't remember for sure. I would have to go back and look at the old canal maps. I've long been of the mind that we should invest a little bit of money back into the I&M and have it be an old canal, just like it used to be, and allow people to have, you know, canoes, kayaks, some of the long narrow boats like you see in in the UK through their canal system. Kind of bring back that heyday of it. There's a reason why that tradition never went away in the UK. It's just quite amazing to be out on the water, even on these narrow canals. I have kayaked probably 30 miles of the I&M, so half of it at some point. Well, good morning to you too. I don't know if I can get him in there. It's right up there. There he is, right up here. I love the sound of a cardinal. But every time I see one by himself, all I think about is the old wives' tale, somebody that's passed on coming to visit you. So, I'm being checked up on, folks. A lot of little robins out here shuffling around in the detritus, looking for a meal. But yeah, I think that would be an amazing thing. I had an idea years ago for, it was kind of a goal to do as a retirement business, and that was a barge and breakfast idea. My intent was to do it up around the Mississippi Palisades in northwest Illinois, southwest Wisconsin, and just move through that portion of the Mississippi River in and amongst all of the islands, and just kind of, show off the beauty of that area. But I could definitely see doing something like that on the I&M if it was navigable again. Got a big old heron flying up here. It just amazes me. Those things look like pterodactyls. I always thought they would be the bird with the least amount of change since prehistoric times. I think it was the Illinois Natural History group that posted the article, but it turns out it's actually the sandhill crane is the bird that is least evolved over time. By the same token, you would look at a vulture and think, that's the best evolution could come up with. Oh boy. And trying to see if I can get them in there or not. The dandelions are up. Although, I do remember my dad eating dandelion salads in the spring. I think, if I recall correctly, that was the only time we got paid to pull dandelions. Ah, okay. I heard a voice. I'm like, what the hell? They're on the other towpath. This stretch of the I&M has a towpath on both sides. There are some areas where it's a single towpath, and then as you get farther out west, it opens back up to dual towpaths. Particularly this stretch through Morris, down there before Nettle Creek, and then on down, and then there's portions of it that disappear. But yeah, this was quite the thing. I'm going to stop here and see if I can get a couple photos. And I'm back. I'll put the pictures right below. I just spotted a big turtle sitting up on a branch, or on a log, I mean. So yeah, all the turtles are coming out, like I mentioned day before yesterday. I've seen several snappers already up, pulled up to the bank. Saturday, I want to say it was, saw the first soft shell turtle of the year. I want to say that's a terrapin, not a. I think those are actually called terrapins instead of turtles, but it's still a turtle. But yeah, back to the dandelion thing, if I remember correctly, Dad would actually pay us to pull dandelions in the spring. And then after that, it became a chore. I have eaten dandelion. It's a little bitter for me. It's hard to describe. People that know me know I'm not a big fan of greens. Spinach, collard, mustard, things like that. Greens, not mustard. I love mustard, but yeah. It all has a very bitter taste to me, Swiss chard in particular. So I don't eat it. Spinach I'll eat when it's a few raw pieces in a salad, or slightly wilted mixed in with pasta. Speaking of pasta, so yesterday we were on the bench with the raspberry pie stuff. Today we'll be back in the lab. In the van, I'm going to make my backpacker pad thai. I'll make that for lunch, and I'll try and video some of it just to show you the rough idea. Still working on the best way to package that as far as taking as an actual backpacker meal. So the biggest thing now is I have to find the appropriate hot sauce. I want to get everything down where it's in the packets like you would get takeout restaurants, so that I can package it out per meal with minimal amount of waste. There's some more turtles down there. So I was investigating a couple different apps for actually recording this, and the two I downloaded, the ones that were more highly recommended, I'm trying to figure out what that is in the water. Oh, it's the butt end of a stump. It just looks funny. The way it's cracked around it. Had a phone call. But yeah, so the two apps that I looked at, they had high recommendations and high ratings. Again, neither one of them allowed you to turn the camera around mid-recording. I don't understand the complexity behind that, why that won't work. So I may have to dig into it a little bit, checking my 6. It's pretty funny, no matter how big and bad you are, you get on a trail or out in the woods somewhere, you always look behind you. Not that I'm big and bad, I'm just saying. I'm over my halfway mark now, so sometime here shortly I'll turn around, but I want to walk a little bit of this. I don't know if I'll do it this year or next year, but I would like again to hike the complete I&M trail, just doing an end-to-end. It's 66 miles of trail, I believe. So multiple campgrounds along the way. So you've got your set distances every day, which works out pretty good. Simple fact, I could probably do it in 3 to 3.5 days, but I want to space it out and hit the campgrounds up. So looking at the map the other day, it looks like for the most part, the campgrounds average 8 to 10 miles apart. So I'd stretch it out over more than just 3 or 4 days, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I can skip one day and just go to the next one. So push through and skip a campground to try and cut down some time, but I thought that would be a pretty neat little project to do, and just a way to get out and get away. Cracking my fleece open, starting to warm up a little bit as I move along. Alright, so one more time we'll do a quick turn around. See you guys back at the van. Hey guys, I yelled. We are back in the van, in the lab, so to speak. Today I am going to make my backpacker pad thai. So we'll kind of run through the rough stuff that goes in it. At the bottom in the description here for the video, I'll actually put the recipe. Still needs a little bit of perfection, but it's much closer than it was in the past. So what I have in the cup right here is, I have 18 ounces of, roughly 18 ounces of water. I prefer to have a little bit more than 2 cups that the ramen calls for. It's just to ensure that I'm getting that extra little bit of water intake, So while that starts to heat up, we will go through and start adding the ingredients. So the biggest thing is your choice of noodles. Yeah, I had to remember which way this particular one goes. So for today, once I get this bag open, we're actually using the Maruchan beef. I have made this with conventional udon noodles, rice noodle. You can make it with whatever, whatever you prefer. I just grabbed the ramen because it was the quickest one today. So the other things you need, like I said, I'll put it down in the description below. This is a mix of my dried vegetables, garlic, red pepper, crushed chili pepper, beef bits, that's TVP, textured vegetable protein, and I forgot what else I have mixed in there. These I typically put in at the very beginning because the beef bits, so it is TVP, textured vegetable protein. It's a little bit dry, so it needs, a little bit of extra time to soak. So I put it in there while the water is boiling up. To that, you'll also need a package of soy sauce, a package of peanut butter. It depends on how you want to do it. I just use the same peanut butter that I use for regular eating while I'm out, and 1 tube of the sugar and the raw. I find that adds that little sweet note that you need that you don't quite get from the soy sauce. I also have, I had mentioned this in the original post on Facebook as well, stir in ginger and additional garlic paste. Actually, no, that will go in a little bit. So we still have a few minutes while we're waiting on this to heat up and come to a boil. I just want to make sure I got all my stuff wet. Don't forget your favorites. The hot sauce, I haven't found the packages yet. I'm sure I can find them on Amazon, but I don't need 300 packages of hot sauce. I will typically either use Tapatio or Valentina as the hot sauce. The Valentina I like a little bit more. Again, it gives you the heat, but adds that spice note, or the sweet note. It definitely adds the spice. Somebody did ask when I posted it on Facebook originally, do I use the packet? Typically I do, but I only use half the packet, and that's just because of the amount of salt. 790 milligrams. So, yeah, double it. 1,580 grams of sodium if you use the entire package. But yeah, I typically add about half a package. It's getting nice and warm in here now, which I love because it's actually a little chilly out. Like I said, it's, well, I don't know what it is right now, but it's probably about 40 right about now, but the breeze is cold. I know it'll be asked. I am actually using one of my Snow Peak titanium stoves, or titanium pots. This is that one I showed the other day that I have the new lid. But yeah, there's often the discussion of, what's your favorite backpacking or camping meal? For me, it varies. It depends on my mood. It depends on what's going on. If I'm flat camping, a lot of times I like to do just hobo packs. You take, your tin foil with chopped up potato, veggies, whatever veggies you want, tomatoes, garlic, some type of sausage. I love doing it with either pulsa kielbasa or a smoked sausage. You know how you buy the loop, Eckrich or whatever the brand is. doesn't matter. But yeah, chop those up into little coins and put those in there with everything. And it just, oh, a hobo pack with everything in it that's properly seasoned is just amazing to come off of the fire. And of course, whenever there's a fire, baked potato, baked sweet potato. Today's protest shirt, I don't remember if I posted it on Facebook. Again, River Hippie, because I'm wishing I was fishing. How many times have I said that today? I need a little silicone mat or a spoon holder. I posted last night on Facebook. I was trying to empty out a can, and it got quite a few questions on the Snow Peak Little Flame, which you saw mounted on the can. It's just a camping candle, gas-powered light. It's not a. It doesn't burn the mantle. Doesn't burn the bag of material. It's just a very simple little flame. And I found that it's the greatest thing in the world when you get these small isobutane cans and they're too little fuel to cook with, but quite often there's enough left to run this candle for 4, 5, 6 hours. So I bring that one. I had to put that back in the van. So I finished that one can last night. We were talking a little bit about stoves. I will do a much larger review as time goes on of the stoves that I use. There was a question, why don't I have any MSR stoves? I do. I have probably close to a dozen different isobutane stoves. It just depends on my mood. It depends. There's so much variation as to which one I'm carrying and why I'm carrying it. The MSRs are a boiling beast. Speaking of boiling, we are almost there. To bring you guys over. Yeah, there we go. Now we're boiling. Now that's pretty boil. All right. So now we have a boil going. Stove comes off. I don't know about you guys, but I actually should just do that in the bag. I prefer to break my ramen in half. Actually, you know, I might want to leave that boil for a minute or two more. Take a look at this here. So yeah, so now the noodles are in. We're going to cook them for another 3 minutes. But that is the one thing I prefer with udon. I think they seem to absorb more flavor out of the sauce that you're cooking in, whatever you're cooking in. I'm salivating sitting here thinking about this. But yeah, the stoves, it just depends on what I'm doing, which one I bring. Like I said, the MSRs I find are boil monsters. They seem to get a higher butane out, or BTU output. I've never actually tried to like score and measure out the butane levels or the BTU levels. So we'll give you a look of it now with ramen in there. See, now maybe you can understand why I use typically a little bit more water. A, to make up for lost hydration, and B, in this Snow Peak pot, it because it's a wider pot, it doesn't quite cover the noodles. Alright, so now we're at that point where I add in my garlic. This is just squeezed crushed garlic. You'll find I get a lot of my stuff at Aldi. Whoop. Very garlicky. And then, so I squeezed out about 1.5 inch rope, just because of the way it comes out here like toothpaste. And I do about the same with the ginger. Again, also from Aldi. This organic one, when they get it in stock, I typically buy 4 or 5 tubes of each. This one's good for 2 years. So once you open it, you have to refrigerate it. But all right. Now, just for the goodness of it, because can you ever have too much garlic? The other thing I always add in are, and I didn't think to put it in the dry package, but this is just crispy garlic, also from Aldi. It's good on salads, it's great in soup. Alright, so our 3 minutes is up. Now we've done the ramen by the book. I'll give this a quick stir. Now comes the sugar in the raw. It's up to you when you put everything in. I like the sugar, the soy, and the soy sauce and the peanut butter are the last items I typically put in. Same with the seasoning package. Like I said, I only use, I eyeball it, but I flipped it a little bit. So I've used roughly half of the package. Don't have my little Ziploc bags in here. Typically I save that little bit. Soy sauce, same thing, about half. But because I don't have a garbage bag back here, I'll just insert the whole. The whole package. And that's the other reason too for cutting back on the ramen seasoning pack, because I'm adding soy sauce. So the amount of salt that you're adding adds up very quickly. Whoop, didn't tear enough. And then the last ingredient is the peanut butter. This is an absolute calorie. I don't quite have the tear big enough on the bag of peanut butter, so I was trying to squeeze it out of there. And that's it. God, that is amazing that I didn't spill a drop out of there. Typically right there is where I always get impatient and I end up making a mess. Again, I'll put all the ingredients down below for those of you that want to try this. Because I'm never sure how much crushed red pepper, because I just guess. Yeah. The hot sauce is always, if you're just guessing as you pour things in, the amount of hot sauce is up to you. It's up to you anyways. You may not like it super spicy, but just a little spicy. I will promise you this is not the the tastiest looking combination, but it's good. So we will let this cool just a touch. First I'm getting a beef bit out of it. I'll take a picture of it here in a minute. Actually, I'll do that because I want you to see. Here, there's always the question on TVP. What does it taste like? Again, this is from Harmony House Foods. Oh my God, that's spicy. I find their TVP products to be very good. In particular, the ham and the beef. But as you saw, it fits in the entire meal. If you break it all down, fits in a standard Ziploc sandwich bag. Ziploc brand. I figured out the calories one time and I had forgotten what it was. I do remember, if you're on Weight Watchers, the meal is 15 points. If you're using TVP. If you're using actual meat, then it increases, like mine using the processed meat pack, the small single serving pack. It ends up at 18 points. But it is a hearty meal. It fills you up very quickly and does the job. Very good. It's the one place where a spork sucks. Almost made a mess.